Love me, hate me, do whatever you want. These are always the ABCs of me. This is Tennessee New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about, Chipping, my neighbor, and the Jayden Daniels and the Pro Day that they just had in the New York Giants. And it's not gonna be a long episode today. But the Giants, of course, they went out and watched the display a little bit during the LSU Pro Day. Now, everyone always forgets that the Giants also had a receiver once from LSU, some strapping gentleman who basically, outside of the likes of Homer Jones, for the older generation of Giant fans, Homer Jones, for those that do not know, was the also inventor of the spike. He played for the New York Giants, but we had a dynamic wide receiver. And Homer Jones was, that was our first one, and then we had another one not too many years back. He had some catch against Dallas, but today they got to watch a showcase. A gentleman with a 42-inch vertical leap, an unofficial 40 time of 4.35, a 10-foot 9-inch broad jump, and he showed some pretty ability to catch the ball. And that, of course, is our one of my favorite players who I literally love to talk about all the time. And I think you know who he is. Welcome, everyone. This is my neighborhood. My name is Malik Nabers. I hope to one day play for the Giants. Can you say Giants? I knew you could. Oh, Malik. He looked awesome. He looked good. And a guy wearing just shorts in his t-shirt always looks good. But you could see the speed. You could see the quickness. There was a play where he just ran past Dable and Shane. And they were both doing a Homer Simpson and foaming at the mouth. But you know what? I've said it before. If it's me, I love Nabers. I do. I've said it before. I would grab Nabers, somehow figure out a way to get above the Raiders at 13 and take Penix as well. I did a video about it calling Fixing Your Offense in the draft. Take Nabers, draft Penix. Boom, we're done. We're done. Use the rest of the draft to fill up the holes with the offensive line. You're not going to win next year. You're not going to win more than 6 games. So just go out there and do something that's going to thrill the fan base a little bit. Go out and get some dynamic playmakers. And Nabers, to me, fits that build. He's that guy. He jumps out at you. He really does. He jumps out at you when you see him just the way he runs, his strides, his ability, his hip movement. Now, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still the number one guy. He's still the number one guy. But I don't think he's going to be there. And I think that's going to be the scenario we have to look at. They're also talking about the other LSU wide receiver, Brian Thomas Jr. He's another guy that has an upside, has an ability. He may be a later first round pick. You never know. You never know where this draft is so laden with wide receivers. You don't know what's going to happen. This is one of those wide receiver quarterback drafts that we haven't seen in a long time. It's almost wish you had the 5 and 7 pick like a couple years back because no one can screw up. Nobody can screw up the 5 and 7 pick. But you know what? Nabers, to me, if your quarterback is not there, is a logical pick. And I use that phrase, if your quarterback is not there. Because one of the things that I think has been overlooked by Giant fans and some of the Giant media is Jayden Daniels. There's still talk and speculation that the Patriots may go with a Marvin Harrison Jr., that they may run it with Jacoby Brissett and get that wide receiver because of the fact that they feel they're still a couple years away. So why burn that quarterback capital and start the clock on that 5-year deal when you still think you're 2-3 years away? And maybe you can survive with some free, vis-a-vis some free agencies. They're not in a desperate situation like the Giants are in, because the Giants, for all intents and purposes, Joe Shane and Brian Dable are in a desperate situation. The clock is ticking. You're in year 3. You don't show something this year, one of you is gone in year 4, and more likely it's going to be Dable. But if there is a quarterback on the board, if there is a guy, if let's say May or Daniels falls, because they're still talking speculation that Drake may be the guy in Washington. There's even some talk that it's J.J. McCarthy. And I think at 6'3", 210 pounds, I think Daniels is going to be one of those guys. He's going to go within the top 10. You figure he's going to go with the top 10, without even a doubt. But if there is a potential run on wide receivers, and let's just say for the sake of all sakes that the top half of the draft doesn't shake out. Like, let's just say Arizona doesn't trade out. Let's say the Chargers don't trade out. Because I do think that the Chargers are going to grab I do think the Cardinals are going to grab a wide receiver. I do think either the Chargers are going to grab either a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. There is a potential for either May or Daniels to be there. Daniels looked good. He looked good. He looked extremely strong with that deep pass. Now, you can't also say that he's throwing to the likes of Nabers, who they have that simpatico relationship. They've been playing ball together for a little bit. So yeah, each other complements each other's game because they know where to be. Daniels with his 40 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. I'd take that. I'd take that in a heartbeat. And it's an impressive. He had another impressive performance. And he showed that he's got the big arm. He showed that he's got the touch. He did strong arm a couple passes to on the outside routes to the sideline that he's probably gonna he's got to take a little juice off the fastball. But the talent for Jayden Daniels is obvious. It was an impressive LSU Pro Day. It really was. You hear all the comparisons about Lamar Jackson being floated about for Daniels. I don't see it that way. I think they're both athletic players, but I think you have more of a potential pocket passer in Daniels. That's not going to be his strength. His strength's going to be moving around. His strength's going to be his mobility. His strength is going to be making things happen off the fly. Like we've said it before, he's going to be a point guard that can create his own shot. We already have one of those guys who can't create his own shot. But he's a guy that is. I just think he's going to be a bad man.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
I think he's just going to be shown up. I think he's going to be that guy. I really do. And I find it interesting, like I said, of course, the Giants met with Daniels after the pro day, which is no shock, because why would you go to LSU and not meet with Daniels? Because there's that potential to be there. There is that potential. Daniels is scheduled to meet with the Patriots, Commanders, the Giants, the Vikings, the Broncos, and the Raiders. He's not going to be there for the Raiders unless that Raiders make a big move. Now, Giants reportedly dined with wide receiver Malik Nabers on Tuesday, and have shown several interest and other interest in people like Brian Thomas Jr. and a couple of their defensive linemen. What's his name, Jordan Jefferson, and was it Mason Smith, and I think also the linebacker. So there's a lot of guys out there that the Giants could bring in. I hope they're just not fixating on Nabers. And it's not a bad thing. But my thing is this, and I'm going to say it again. You can grab a wide receiver in this draft either late in the first round or even going into the second. This is how deep this draft is for wide receivers. You have the potential to grab a quarterback. I don't know if McCarthy truly is their guy, but if you have a May or a Daniels sitting there and you go with Nabers and you go with a quarterback who just doesn't have it in year 6, who's coming off injury issues, 2 out of 3 years with a neck issue and an ACL, who really hasn't performed at all, you'd be crazy to pass that up. I keep looking at the quarterback class in 2025. It's just not there. It's not this class. Is this class on par with 2004? I don't know. Is it the 1983 Elway, Marino, Blackledge, Esiason, O'Brien? Is it that draft? I don't know, but everyone says that this is a great draft for quarterbacks. And I honestly keep looking down the road. I don't think the next great quarterback class will be around until like 2027. I can't do year 10 with Daniel Jones, guys. I've said it before, Shane, and I'm going to say it again. If you have an opportunity to get a quarterback, it's either Daniel. Let's just say it's either Daniels or May, and he's sitting right in front of you. and you do something stupid like grab a wide receiver that you probably could have got later in the draft, you know what the call you're going to get from me is.
I don't want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
And there's not going to be enough Tylenol for me. Oh, we're going to have a big stream on Friday and then back again on Sunday. Guess who's back? Shady's back. And as always, this is Dennis Stewart, Giant Straight Talk. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome.